Hi, folks. It's Monday, and it's time for Monday Motivation. I've taken a break, so thank you for sticking around. Today's Monday Motivation is really something that I've been exploring a lot with myself, and it's this concept of body positivity versus body acceptance. Now, we live in a world where we see a lot of people online, influencers, and just messages in general, which are lovely about being positive with your body, loving your body no matter what, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying those affirmations of, I love all these things about myself. Which, if you are one of those people that can do that, that is incredible. And I'm so happy for you. I am not always one of those people. I find that sometimes very difficult to do. And then I start to feel guilty when I can't love my body, and there's all these messages like, just love where you are, just love who you are, just love everything. And I'm like, but I don't feel that way today. I feel overweight, and I feel like sometimes my body betrays me and that I can't do the things that I want to do. Sometimes that has to do with my disability, sometimes that has to do with I'm still dealing with an injury on my shoulder that was, like 2.5 years ago. And it was like silly. I like slipped and fell in the shower. I feel like I'm 100 years old. And I'm also to the point now where, I'm almost 40 and my body doesn't do the things that it used to do. And I have to go slower and be gentler and take more time. And going to the gym is a bit more difficult. And I can't always go to the gym, and I find that frustrating. And my shoulder healed on this side, but my right shoulder now has flared up because it was compensating all of this time. And so there's so many times where it's like, I want to go to the gym because I'm feeling overweight, I don't feel comfortable in my skin, but then somebody's telling me, well, just love yourself where you are. I'm like, but I don't. And so it's like, how do we deal with that? And I was recently listening to, Oprah is doing this 2020 Vision Tour. And two people in particular that I've just been so enamored by recently are Lady Gaga and Tracee Ellis Ross. I've always loved both of these women. But they both were starting to talk about something that I thought was really interesting, and this idea of not necessarily body positivity, because sometimes we just can't get there. And by putting that pressure on ourselves of saying we have to love ourselves no matter what, is damaging. Now, let me also say, this idea of this body positive movement is so incredible, and it started in the 1960s from queer women of color who wanted to take back the idea of fat shaming, both, in the industry and at the doctor's office, and to say that, wherever your body is, that's okay, and to love it no matter what. But again, that's not always easy. And so for those that, I want to say this again, for those that can actually do that, I applaud you. Now, there are things about myself that I love. So, for instance, I've got a great chest. Walking on my arms and walking on my hands so much, it's one of those perks that comes along with that. The other thing, this might be a little intimate, but just like right above my butt, I've got these two cute dimples. Like, those are some things that I can say out loud to you that I love. But here are some things that I don't love. I don't love that I can have a very hairy body, and my shoulders can get very hairy, and I feel super self-conscious about that. I also, just the way my body is, my waist is small. It's hard to see just because of how my clothes fit, but my waist is quite small, and when I sit down, like my top half of my body like blobs over the rest of my body, and I get really self-conscious about that. And there's literally nothing I can do. And to constantly being told that just look in the mirror and say, I love myself. I love that I'm a blob. I love that I have hairy shoulders. I'm not there. And I don't know if I will get there in regards to that love piece. But what I've learned recently through Tracee Ellis Ross and Lady Gaga, and also this incredible podcast called Unfuck Your Brain, is this idea of body positivity has its place, and it's super important. And again, if you can get there, that's amazing. But body acceptance. This has been a radical shift for me, in that it wasn't about, what my body should look like, or I should love it no matter what. What I focus on now is, what can I do with my body right now? So body acceptance is, what? I'm always going to have hairy shoulders. I'm not excited about that. But I've started to learn to just accept that. There's nothing I can do as someone with a disability. I can't change things about my body, and sometimes my body just won't do the things that I want to do. So in those moments, instead of, hearing those negative thoughts, which still come, I just accept them. I'll look in the mirror and say, you know what? Okay, I have hairy shoulders. I can trim them today, and that makes me feel a little better, but I just need to accept that I have hairy shoulders today. And whether I feel sad or excited about that, that's great. And just leave it at that. I'm not going to force myself to be like, I love my shoulders, I love my shoulders, I love my shoulders. Because I don't right now. And so I just accept that that's where I'm at. And that is totally fine. And taking that pressure off of not trying to have this perfect body or not trying to love myself no matter what, and just accept where I am, is so much more comfortable for me. So today's Monday motivation is this idea of if there are parts of your body that you can love them. Say it out loud, live it and believe it. But if there aren't parts of your body, just accept that that's where you are. So there are some days that I wake up, my shoulders feel amazing. And I can go to the gym and I can do the things. But there are some days where I wake up and my body doesn't let me do that. And so I accept that today, my body doesn't let me do that. So today's Monday motivation is, again, if you can do body positivity and love your entire self, that is incredible. And do that. But if you can't, find the things to just accept where you are. And that's okay too. Folks, I hope you have a great Monday. As always, you're my new best friend. Call me every 5 minutes. Goodbye!